We're in the mecca of off-road racing in South Africa for round 2 of the South African Off-Road Championships, the Baberspan 500. It's going to be very hot here today at Baberspan between Sunnyhof and Delareyville in the western part of the Northwest Province, so it's an early start for the competitors. 61 four-wheelers are lined up, and one of the favourites for a win today is the mighty Castrol Toyota.
We're lying very good. We're first of the production vehicles, and we're very familiar to the conditions here, and we're looking for a very nice event today. We've won this event about 5 or 6 times in the past, so looking forward, very forward for today. Hope we can win again.
Another favourite for an outright win is Neil Woolridge in the Dakar Pajero.
A little bit nervous, as always, before a race. You'd think after 20 years we'd get used to it, but it's still the same every bloody time. But we're in quite a good position. I think we're lying second in our class, only a couple of seconds behind in actual time. And it's a long day, it's 500 k's. I think the first objective is to get to the end. And we should have a good run. The car's 100%.
6 o'clock on the dot in the first of the 19 Class A cars, basically unlimited vehicles as far as size and specification go, are underway, and they've got 500 k's to go. Francie Chepik, another one of the favourites with his son Francie Jr., get going in the B Motors race car, and after second place overall in the Lichtenberg 400, he's got to be out for an overall win. That engine sounds absolutely crisp. Those identification lights at the back, by the way, so you can be seen in the dust. And wonderful to see so many locals out at this time of the morning. The Motortech Jimco, that's a former champion, Richard Schilling and Ashley Thorne underway. And here's the Yokohama tie shot Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser. There are 9 entries in this class as R.P. Reinecker and Robin Houghton get underway. It's starting to get light amongst the 9 starters in Class D. Another Castrol Toyota. This time it's the standard one with a spectacular Cassie could see at the wheel.
Well, we're positive. We're going to do well, myself and Pete. We've got a brand new Hilux, it's the second time out, and we go for a good Class D win today.
And who does Andrew Birkin, another Class E Toyota, think is going to be his competition this time?
Baberspan has never been good to us, but I think today's going to be our lucky day.
Who are you looking out for out there?
We've got some good competition in Class E. We've got the Fizzers, the local guys, they know the route, and Hein Grobler, also with a very good vehicle.
Local Jannie Visser is definitely a favourite in his Toyota.
Oh, it just all depends on the dust. The dust is bad. We'll see how it goes. But we'll go slow for the first lap. We'll go and try the second lap.
I see your team, Baberspan.
Yes, we're all from home.
Andrew and Chris Birkin in the 3-litre 4x4 get underway to lead 9 other vehicles in this class for 4-cylinder engines up to 3-litre. And the crowd is starting to grow. Jannie Visser and Jan Bester in Class E, the 4x4, also up to 5 litres, also a putt and in a hurry. A real push-on driver, Tony Yo, is his wife Mandy navigating, and there's a lot of action ahead for him in a very quick Continental-powered Sabre-sponsored Land Rover Defender 90. Here's the first of the special vehicles for 4-cylinder 2-litre engine, no restriction on type of body, suspension or drivetrain. You can see how effective it is. That's Newton Love and Colin Pote. They were second in Lichtenberg, and the man they want to beat badly in the single-seater is the previous round winner, Tom Smith. Cassie Coetzee and Pete Swanepoel underway. They've got 480 k's ahead of them in the Castrol Toyota. The course is over 2 loops at 244 k's each, with a pit stop in the middle, so it's going to be a long, hot and a very hot day. Already the temperature's in the mid-25s. Coming back into the reckoning this year and totally relaxed and enjoying his motorsport. You can see them waving at us. This is Richard Schilling in a very quick Motortech Jimco designed only to do what you see he's doing now, and that's to do it quickly and with a fair amount of comfort. And the Chepiks in their race car. Both these vehicles have very limited accommodation. They're crushed in there. It's 2 people with the driver and navigator sitting shoulder to shoulder. And look at that Motortech at work. That front suspension, those drivers are sitting in relative comfort there as the suspension keeps everything thrown at it. No middle monkey for this sort of vehicle here. It's the favourite, the Chepiks, and they are going hard as well across some very rough bush. The boys from Botswana, Shamir Bariawa and Liaquat Ali Khan, the driver-navigator pair in a state-of-art chin-out. It's got virtually everything on it, you can see. Everything you want for going across dirt very, very quickly. Coming at us flat out with Robin Houghton. He's looking for those day-glow markers that show these vehicles have got to go off to the left. It's R.P. Reinecker in the works. Castrol Toyota, very popular with the crowd. This neck of the woods, he's won it 6 times, you heard him say, and they look very comfortable, I must say, in that cab of the Land Cruiser. On the open road, they turn into the bush. There they come again to the narrow tracks. The navigator's still got to work very hard here, looking for the next turn off, which is easy to miss in this sort of country. The Repro Gel Mitsubishi Pajero, that's the Dakar one just ahead, is starting to fly and catching other cars. They started before him, but nice part of it all, they're doing it with aircon and electric windows in that vehicle. And going for their first points this season, Rashid Noble and Cooper, who are racing their Chef engine special, sounding very nice. Woolridge and Vermaak in that Pajero are starting to catch everyone. They're having a good event. This event is known for its heat and dust, and although, funny enough, the roads are very rough, there's surprisingly few punches on these tracks. Leading his class, Tom Smith and that mighty mag, he's very effective over this type of country, and a winner to boot. John Weir Smith and Murray Haller in their race coach, now getting really hot, and it's just after 8 o'clock in the morning. Single-seater star once again. Tom Smith, he certainly presses on in that vehicle. He's got to do all his own navigating, just like a motorcyclist, and he's got to be pretty fit in that vehicle. Here's the Toyota they call Old Fred, but Gerard and Rick Camp are pedaling along and looking good for a win as they stand to close on RP Reinicke, who seems to be having some sort of a problem. And the locals, you can hear them, they're all for these vehicles here. They just love it. The Land Cruiser of Schumi, Van Veeren, Schumi sounds very familiar, and Fani Kotza. Well turned out vehicle that. And of course from this neck of the woods you only get good vehicles, very successful in these events. Swanepoel pits the Navigator, also manages Kyle Army, second behind Woolridge in the Pajero, looking very good, fourth overall at the moment in with a totally standard motor. This place is infested with Castrol Toyotas. There's Schumi and Fani again, and they followed pretty closely there. We've got, here he comes, the standard Toyota, the Castrol Toyota of Cassie Coetzee, and Pete Swanepoel is on the march, way out in the bush there. It's getting very hot, and here's still the original horsepower of another kind in this neck of the woods is used for family transport. Newton Love and Colin Pope, the two of them in their nicely turned out vehicle that come cruising past their race coach, lying second at the moment behind Tom Smith, as we say, drives on his own. The Birkins, Andrew and Chris in their Toyota, they're staying ahead in Class E for production vehicles. That's up to 3 litres. They've got Fisser and Bester in their Toyota. Here they come, looking very good. This has been a successful vehicle that, of course, local knowledge pays off handsomely in this sort of event. And the crowds are growing all the time, watching this sort of thing. Here they are standing way out in the bush, watching these vehicles come past. One of the hottest Land Rovers in the country, the Sabat Land Rover, fitted with Continental tires of Tony and Mandy. She's a Navigator, of course, Mandy. At the moment, they're third behind Woolridge and Cassie Coetzee, sounding really good. It's got a 2.8 litre BMW engine in that one. As Coetzee, Labuskachny and Hans Gerber in the Sandmaster, here they come towards. That's nice, these little windscreens in front of them, give them some sort of protection. They're well on their way around the 244-kilometre course. First of the quads and the motorbikes are ready to get underway at 7:30 p.m.
Ek kom om te kom wen, ek kom nie om te kom verloor nie. Maar as iemand anders te wen, die beste man sal wen. So ek gee net my beste en ek sal goed doen.
Yeah, you know, today is 500 kilometers, but very dusty because Baberspan hadn't had rain for a long time. But I've got a good starting place, second yesterday after the time trial, 8 seconds behind the local boy, Carl LaRue. So it's a long day today, but you know, obviously it's good to have a good starting position because of the dust.
Well, I'm starting 10th on the grid in the first 200. I'd like to just keep my positioning because it's pretty fast, and I don't know whether I'll make any positions up, but if I can stay where I am, I'll be quite happy.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm actually quite happy because Alma's starting 1 second in front of me. He's my main opposition in the 250 class. Jeremy Davies is behind us, and I think it's going to be good. The only thing we've got to worry about is the dust this morning, and when we start catching the quads and the cars, I think we're really going to battle to get through.
Daryl's a good rider, and I've just got to try and keep my head together and not make any mistakes with him behind me, because you're always under pressure when a rider's pushing you, and hopefully we don't have any missteps between the two of us out there.
Time for the motorcycles to get underway. They start last behind the four-wheelers and the quads. They're very quick across the bush here, all these different roads and tracks. Local man, the AJA Panasonic Castrol KTM, Carl LaRue. It's going to take him not too long to get up to the first of the slower cars. They started an hour and a half before. From Ladybrand, the winner, Lichtenberg 400. Simons on the auto page, Sally Honda Duper. And just a second behind, you heard him before, Daryl Curtis on the KTM, that AJA Panasonic Castrol KTM. And being that close, a lot of dust and stones are going to come from Errol Simon's back wheel. Here's his first ride of the year, Jacques Struik on the Yamaha, and here's the legend from Dakar. He won it by day there across 11,000 kilometers of Sahara Desert. He's the dairy farmer from Lichtenberg, Vickers van Deventer. Can anybody beat him? Struik leads, but he knows bad news for him. He's got one man in his tail, and that's Vickers. And here he comes, that angry, banshee, wailing. Listen to Jojo Tank Yamaha. How can he keep this up for nearly 500 kilometers? He stands, he sits, and he sends it. 14 is a man's got no numbers. He's riding a Johannesburg Yamaha. And just behind him, we've got the winner of the Lichtenberg 400 on the Joburg Yamaha. It's John Craig Costello, another very competitive rider. These kids just love the quads. You can hear them all out there in the bush just cheering them on as they go there. They are so fast, these motorcycles, and you can tip them very, very easy. They've got to work hard, these riders on the quads, all their drivers. Look at them, just loving it. Crowds are coming off the course. It's now up nearly 30 degrees. The first of the motorcycles, the local man, Carl Larue on the KTM. He knows he's got to hurry. He's got Alfie Cox not too far behind him. And as he goes in the bush, you can start looking over his shoulder. And here he is. Takes a different line into this corner. On the Natro Freight KTM is the legend, Alfie Cox. He third in the Paris Dakar on the Granada Dakar this year, and that's a man is legend. More successful than any other rider in South African motorsport. Here's the Larue again. Really in a hurry. I love it. They just get it sliding into the bush, then they start to wheel it over some of these bumps. And this goes on for 500 k's. You've got to be so fit. And Alfie Cox is on his way here, just sending it along in control. He does most of this whole route standing up on his motorcycle. And of the 200cc class, the champion with number 1 on it, the KTM, the AG Panasonic Castrol KTM, is Rion Fanica, going exceptionally well. And the crowd love it. Wherever you go along the route, there's always someone to watch you. Another danger man, the auto-paid salary Honda, Errol Dalton, that big 500. Handful in the bush, isn't the lowdown. Talk of that engine, mega power on these dirt roads. And Elmer Simons, he's leading the 250 class. He's hurrying along on that auto-paid salary Honda. He's really flying. He leads the championship, having won the Lichtenberg 500. And it's time for the first pit stop. 244 k's behind them. Here's Richard Schilling and Ashley Thorne. They've got a flat. Oh, bad. That'll set them back a wee bit. And the next one, R.P. Ranica in for his pit stop with Robin Houghton. And they've been having overheating problems. They've been stopping all along the route to try and find water to fill up the radiator. But knowing R.P., he's going to carry on and finish the event. And looking for their men, and here they come. And leading are the campers. They go straight on through in that Fred X-Works Toyota. As Kasi Kutsi and Pete Swanepoel coming in the Castrol Toyota, they're also looking good.
Not too bad. For a Class D vehicle, we're quite happy. We're quite impressed. We got a flat wheel the last 2-3 k's. Otherwise, it was dusty this morning. Quite a lot of dust. And but the road's all right. We short of some road markers some places. And the biggest problem, we run out of odor from the start this morning. But that's not serious. We keep going.
And following Kasi and Pete are the husband and wife team of Tony and Mandy Yo. And Tony seems totally relaxed about the whole event.
Where have you been?
Oh, we've been picking up Serviettes, which is, I'm nearly finished my doily now.
No Serviettes, you.
I don't know, it's just going so slow today. Nothing hectic,
And Tony actually retired from the first event. He rolled that Land Rover in Lichtenberg. Right, here are the leaders, very close. They've been chased hard by the Kenneth from Botswana, but the Chepiks are going hard. The son navigates, the father drives. Look at the ground clearance of that machine. Well turned up. Very light in the front, all the weight centered towards the back. All the way from the driver's back, and he sends it along, and here comes the competition, and they can look over their shoulders and see them. The boys from Botswana are here. That's very old Ali Khan. Even have time to wave at us. Navigate on the right-hand side in this vehicle. That's a very effective-looking off-road vehicle, that one. Carefully through. There's a lot of understeer in those vehicles, but for straight ahead going through the bush, you can't beat them. Power on and on their way. Chepiks flying over some very bad country. If you're driving a normal 4x4, you'd just be idling over these bumps, and they go flat out, wheels off the deck. That's why it's light in the front there, so they can keep in a straight line. Carefully through that gate there, those two poles, just waiting for anybody that tries to do that too quickly. Navigators, I'm sure, have got that marked on their charts. And the boys from Botswana, it even looks, just the body language that vehicle shows they're in a hurry. They want to catch. That's Viriawa and Card, they are going. There he says, go to the left through here. They also take it easy through that gate. There's the dust of the leaders ahead of them. They know they're going, but to get through the dust is something else. Repro Gel Pajero right on schedule. Easily ahead of the next competitor in Class D. And here comes R.P. Reinecker and Robin Houghton. They've been having definitely overheating problems. They've been complaining about it. The Castrol Toyota is flying. The needles up in the red. The water temperature is very high. But as always, R.P. wants to finish. He's won it too many times not to give up here. Neil Woolridge from Peter Marisburg comes in the Pajero. Very nice turn. You can see a well turned out world championship vehicle as well. Let's just see how he gets handles his gate. He comes through, won motorcycle championship, used to do motocross. Carefully through there. He doesn't want to blow to the stage. He's leading his class. Tom Smith building up a good lead in his single seater. Slow out of that corner, starting to get very, very dusty around this corner. Does all the navigating to say himself. The Porsche engine sounds very good. It's on the power band, a little megaphone at the back. The Birkins leading their class as well. That's Chris and Andrew. And you can make that so easy, make a slip. The marshalling is good in this event, and so is the marking. Just behind Woolridge in second spot, and they're fourth overall. Now they've got into fourth. There's Cussie and Pitt. Of course, a lot of rallying experience, these two. Old Fred, that Toyota, doing impressive things here with the campers. Big, powerful stuff. A very successful vehicle in off-road racing. This is the X-Works Toyota. They look up well strengthened, that cab too. They look at beats for themselves. They're doing very well. They're leaving the truck class. That's the super truck class, the big heavy ones. And here comes Hein Krobel and Johannes Best and their Toyota. It's just Toyotas. It's Castrol Toyotas. But Toyota certainly prove their vehicles on events like the Baberspan. Also got local knowledge, which makes a big difference. And very quick through that gate as well. And back at Leopan, it's time for the pit stop for the quad. Stewie comes in for his stop. He knows he's got problems coming up. He's looking for his pits now. Gives thumbs up to the marshals. And Brandon Bardenhoff, he comes in on his Joburg Yamaha. He's looking pretty fresh, I must say. Different sort of pit stop to anything else you ever see. They pour water down your neck whether you want it or not, just to cool you down. That's 244 k's behind him. Oh, and they've got a John Craig Costello. He's got a flat tire. They're going to set him back. He must have been struggling with that. And he's lost the lead there. His chances of winning overall depends on whether Vickers or Struik are going to retire from this event. There's the overall leader of the motorcycle, looking pretty fresh. A local boy, Carl Ruru, on the KTM, running to action. Nicely turned out team, that in T-shirts. They're getting him going. They've refueled his bike. He's got a cool drink. He's got a lot of refreshment he carries on his backpack, as you can see. Big spot stop for him. But Alfie Cox, there he is. He's the man he's got to worry about. Alfie gets it on the power band, and that Natro Freight Castrol KTM is on his way. The Autopay Challenger Honda of Gray McLaughlin, another quick pit stop. He lost the Lichtenberg 500. You remember he ran out of gas. Here's Jeremy Davies leading the 250s. What's happened to Elmer Simons? He's late as Jeremy scoots in Mr. Casual himself, as does Rian van Niekerk. Simons is missing. The boy from Lady Brand who won in Lichtenberg is not in the picture.
Unfortunately, Elmer about 20 k's back. He, under pressure, he actually lost it and he's dislocated his arm. We've heard from the hospital he's actually fine. So Edwin is the guys have gone and fetched his bike, but he's okay now. He's not ready for the next race.
Well, that's a great pity for him. Here's the man they all want to beat. He's gone to the front now. Vickers van Deventer is in the lead. Will ever beat this guy? If you can go 11,000 k's across the Sahara, this is a cakewalk for him, there's no doubt about it. Takes his time through these gates. And the first of the motorcycle, it's Alfie Cox. The boys from the Dakar are leading their classes. He's riding like a champ, just turns it around motocross fashion, spins it around on his foot, waves to the marshal, so relaxed. He's won the Roof of Africa, he's done everything, Alfie. Very successful indeed. Kororu in second spot now, maybe getting a wee bit tired. He's got a quick KTM. KTMs have been so successful in the Roof and the Dakar. They've been great motorcycles for long distance racing. Here's the South African champion wheeling it as he goes. Boy, if you come short on that bike at that speed, that quad, you're in serious trouble. 500s are done over 350 k's. Alfie Cox still standing and doing those wheelies over the bumps. You'd think they just started this race. That's the way to handle going flat. There's so much experience behind this man. Look at that. Body language. Oh, look at the speed to that gate, and he just misses the poles. The cars have got nothing on Alfie Cox. And Carl Ruru is very, very popular here. The locals know all about him. He's got a nice style too, I must say. It's like a motocrosser coming. These basically are motocrossers with the lights off. If they have to go into night events, they add lights onto this machine. And they are cheering him on. Looking very good, very confident. A great ride by this man. Led in the initial stages, passed by Alfie Cox. And he also gets through that gate pretty quickly. Costello, second here, he's doing well. Holding to make up time. He's got to try and close that gap on Vickers there. He won in Lichtenberg. Vickers was tired off the Dakar on his motorcycle. Wasn't enough to get his body weight back to get more grip on those back wheels. And Kirsten and Houston, their race car, the Sandmaster. They've been at it a long time, these Sandmasters. Very big understeers that come around these tight corners. They're made for going in straight lines, fast across the bush. Gets the power and just wheel spinners that come out there. Effective vehicles, well sorted out. And a lot of them sorted out in this neck of the woods. Another Autopay Cellular Honda. This time it's Errol Dalton. He's third, just behind Alfie Cox and Carl Leroux. He's sending along. That's a big motorcycle that can really tire you out across this sort of country. And the dust is starting to get you too. Jeremy Davies back on form, keeping his weight over the front wheel there too. Had some bad injuries in his off-road races, but he won championships, been overseas in Australia and racing in America. And Rian van Niekerk, the angry little sounding KTM, he's leading the 200 class as he always seems to do. McLaughlin hauling along in that big 500 on. Never to run out of gas again on an off-road event. I mean, there was a tragedy when he ran out through that gate again, just passes those poles. He ran out of fuel. He couldn't believe it. A K from the end, and Alfie Cox came through and beat him to the line. And he's wheeling and having a wonderful time. These riders are so fit on these motorcycles. From Natal, lovely sound, that big Yamaha Lance Thui. Oh, it's lovely to hear a big four-stroke. You don't have to worry what gear you're in. It's got so much low down. And Wayne Farmer, he's second the 200 class behind Rian van Niekerk. He's on the Panasonic Russell Campbell Racing. Goes along like a motocross here. This is a motocross, in fact. Little 125 Kawasaki, water-cooled 6-speed, and 500 Ks of hard work. It's starting to get behind it. Daryl Curtis on the Katie, he's riding like a star. He got a broken nose. He picked up a stone that came from another rider's bike. It went through his visor and he's just covered in blood. But he's still carrying on. He's lying third at the moment is Daryl. That just shows the ilk of the man. Well-known motocrosser there, Alan Julian on the Miller Racing Honda. Number says almost that he's a 500, but that is in fact the 250s, lying second to Jeremy Davis. Farmer again in second spot. He's just 7 minutes behind Rian van Niekerk, who's so fast and so smooth and is the champion of the clock. You see some of those markers they use, that day glow, biodegradable, so that doesn't last too long afterwards. Here's Rob Campbell, the CJ Yamaha. He's looking tired. He's compared to those guys in the front, just loving it, sitting down in his saddle and just powering on the motorcycle, doing all the work. And we're at the finish, back at Leopan. Here's the overall winner and of Class A, and it's the Chepiks. A great win of the Baberspan 500.
The race was actually very good. It was the fastest off-road race ever. It was very, very poorly marked. On the second loop, some of the farmers had already closed the gates, although we were the first car through, so we had to wait for them to open the gate. We had to drive over one gate and break it. We lost about 10 to 15 minutes opening and messing around with gates. So from a competitive point of view, it was actually a terrible race.
Got a happy winner that one, and not the view actually shared by the majority of the competitors. Here's second overall, 1 minute 51 seconds behind is the Botswana pair.
We ran fast today, and from the second that we started chasing the Shepik, and from then on it was flare-out racing right to the end. We got a few places where we could take him, but the dust was too much, so we don't want to risk it. So we're coming second.
The Dakar Pajero with Woolridge and Vermaak. The Doddle there, they come in the win Class D and third overall in the event. And it just looks like that Mitsubishi Pajero has been out on a Doddle.
It was very good. Marking was excellent. As opposed to last year, there were a lot of dangerous parts last year. This year, there's still dangerous parts, but they put a lot of good markers up to warn you about them. And it was very well marked. Pretty fast in places, 180 plus in some places, but very good. We had one puncher, which we lost about 4 minutes. So if we hadn't had the puncher, we might have won. But if it doesn't work in racing.
And in second in Class D, here they come, the Castrol Toyota Kassikutsi and Pete Swanepoel. They're 14 minutes behind Woolridge and fourth overall. And T3 just keep winning. Great victories for the campers of the X-Works Toyota. Never missed a beat. They're minutes ahead of R.P. Rannicker and Robin Houghton. So there's the results for the special vehicles. The Chepiks win overall in their class. Second was Variawa and Khan. Tom Smith in the Mighty Mag won again by 8 minutes ahead of Newton, Love and Colin Pote, who was second in their class, with Weir, Smith and Hully fifth overall and third in their class. In the production vehicle class, first in Class D and third overall. Great performance there, Woolridge and Vermaak. And then the campers took the Super Truck class. The Birkins were fourth overall and winners of their class, Class E, and Tony and Mandy Yo in the Sabat Land Rover. Very happy to come home third in Class D behind Woolridge and Kutsi. L4 comes home in a hurry. Can he ever be beaten? Vickers van Deventer wins by the customary 14 minutes and is now just 7 points behind Casella in the championship. Doesn't even look tired.
It was very fast en ek het baie geniet. Jy weet ons het in die boere se plaas gery. Dis my wêreld hierdie en ek is baie bly ek kon dit doen.
South Africa's most successful motorsport man ever in the history of our sport in this country, Alfie Cox, comes home to another victory. And he doesn't look tired either.
Now on the first loop I lost the rear brake. The union came loose on the caliper and I had no rear brake, so he pulled 3 minutes, and the refuel before the service I managed to tighten it, bleed the brake. I lost a bit of time, and then we got to the first refuel on the second loop and I came in, he was just taking off, so I pulled the 3 minutes, and then not long after that I got past him but he wasn't going as hard as he was this morning, and maybe he was a little bit tired.
How soon do you think it'll be before you get back on again?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I've got to go to a proper doctor and see what they say. You know what's wrong actually. I saw a doctor here in town, but they don't have much equipment in it. So I've got to go to a hospital in Bloem.
There's the order in the quad results. Van Deventer about 14 minutes. All on those Banshee Yamahas, those 350 twin-cylinder Yamahas with an awful lot of power for these sort of conditions. Van Deventer, Costello and De Villiers all in the hunt with Mark and Parkinson in 5th position. And the motorcycle results, the top 3 there are on 500s. Jeremy Davies takes the 250 class, and a brilliant ride for 5th overall is Rian van Niekerk on the KTM, who also won the 200 class. The 3rd round of the South African Off-Road Championship is the Sugar Belt 400 down in Natal. And Greg Harvey and Boy Stone get underway, but it doesn't sound